Hey, it's just so Trish, and today we're going to talk about phonics first or sight words. Do you even do sight words? Let's discuss this. We need to talk about this. Okay, so there has been a whole... Okay, so here's the discussion. Do you start teaching your child with sight words, or do you start teaching your child with phonetics? I got a screamer. Anyways, which way do you start? And this was a really confusing one for me. I believe I was sight word trained because all this phonetics is new. My first child was sight word trained, and I phonetically trained, I untrained and then phonetically trained my second child, and my third child is phonetic training. So where do you start? Most of the schools anymore, because that's where we got a good sampling of it, is doing a lot of sight word training. And then after the fact, they kind of lightly sprinkle in phonetics. They don't really strongly do phonetics, but it's a light sprinkling. So in theory, you can sound everything out. Well, my first child did a great job and just took off and was fine doing it that way. My second child could not figure it out. And that's a lot of like memorizing the shape of the word versus and turning the word into pictograph, whatever. So he just couldn't get it. So we had to undo everything and begin phonetic training. And it took us a long time to undo it and get it done right. My second child only did phonetic training, and she reads beautifully. The big discussion that comes in, and I really like it because Lee Giles discusses it here, is most things when you read as an adult, you read it as a sight training. You read it by sight. And so learning, her argument is learning to sight train will, allow the child to read fluently versus having to sound out every word and then forgetting what they're reading and the comprehension's gone. That's one side of the argument. So she definitely advocates for sight word training. Then there's another one. I'm going to put a link in the description that is by Don Potter. And he has a lot of just really great technical articles about sight training induces dyslexia. Not all dyslexia, but there's a sight word induced dyslexia that occurs because none of the letters really mean anything. So what does it matter which way they're turned? Kind of deal. And there's that whole discussion. So I will tell you, for a long time, especially with my own reading mishaps and with my reading comprehension issues growing up, that I'm anti-sight word. By nature, I am anti-sight word because of just this whole adventure. And so I love Christian Light because they go through and they discuss and they train phonetically all the way through, and we've had amazing results through it. It's one of the reasons I also have tried phonetic pathways, because it is giving you the spelling rules and you are, again, phonetically training. It is why I started with teaching your child to read with 100 easy lessons. It's phonetics. And so I have used some of the McGuffey primers in the past, the originals, and I've used those in the past, and we've did a little reading and stuff, and then I come across Easy Peasy Learning to Read, and she literally takes the primer of McGuffey in the first one and sight word trains every one of those, and then at the end she does phonetics. So with that, I will tell you what's different that Lee Giles does. A lot of the programs in the school system uses a sprinkling of phonetics, but not like a die-hard stop all sight words. We're going to now phonetically learn to read everything. She, intense. We are very beginning. We are not jumping hoops. Very beginning, from the beginning to the end of sight word, of phonetic training. So I think it's substantial. It's amazing. Kind of deal. So it runs into, what do you do? What do you do? And I'm not going to even promise I have an answer. I am still figuring this out. This is a discussion issue. I want you to leave me comments. It's telling me what you think. I'm just giving you what I've learned so far in a brief summary. We can go into this in more detail and the links that I found here. And I want you to tell me what you think. Really and truly, because this is not something I feel like I'm an expert at or that I can say yes. I mean, I will tell you a year or two ago, I'm like, it's only phonetics. So now I'm actually starting to give consideration to Lee Giles' argument of, sight word training will quickly begin. But one of the things I like to do, I did make flashcards. One of the things I like to do when I am introducing the sight words that Lee discusses is nat, nat, nat. So I'm phonetically training the sight words. And I can't do that with all of them, but for the most part, I can. So right now, I'm doing both. Because this is my trial period. Can I teach reading without Christian Light? Christian Light is my go-to guarantee. But can I do it without all of the bookwork? I might not. I might still have to do it. Because that's how it is. But I'm going to give it a try. So what I'm doing is I'm actually slowly, and when I say slowly, I mean like absolutely slowly, going through and teaching these sight words. I've got to get the spiral bound. Spiral bounding is coming soon to a few of my books. Side note. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm going through this, I'm going through this, and I'm teaching these words, and then that gives us the ability to read the book. This has been a very slow process. We're not just speeding through it. It's not going to be 270 days for us. It's going to be a while. And I've been even to the point of like duplicating myself doing the flashcards with them. I've started making a set of videos for the kids on them, and that's going slow too. But if you ever want to watch them, they are Muddy Toe Scholars is my place I'm putting videos for my kids' use where I duplicate myself. Anyways, and then at the same time we are doing this. We're doing this in conjunction. So I'm kind of tandemly teaching sight, reading, and phonetics together. And we're doing this as an experiment. So what's the difference between sight word reading and phonetic reading? If you are phonetically training your child, you are essentially doing Bob books until the end. Kind of. If you are sight training, you're doing Dr. Seuss. So that's kind of, the difference. This is phonetics, this is sight word training. So tell me what you think. I wish I had all the answers. It could be one of those that some children can learn this tandem and it's no big deal. It could be that some children cannot even begin sight word training. They have to phonetically learn, and other children need to sight word train. And then, I don't know if this becomes one of those, there's a one size fits all kind of thing. So definitely tell me what you think. We can revisit this some more. I know that Don Potter discussed if you build up your sight train side of the brain, like sight, and that's the other part too. Sight training is one side of the brain. Phonetics is another side of the brain, like left, right side brain. And there's a discussion that if you overtrain the one side, the sight word side, it will not rely on the phonetic side. So if you overtrain the sight word and then you're phonetically train the other side, the brain will instantly go to the stronger sight word side and guess at words. And that's the guessing is sight word training versus sounding it out, which is the phonetics. So if you have a guesser, they're sight word trained. If you have a phonetic, sounding out is phonetics. So there you go. I hope this helps. A little randomness, try not to, but it is definitely, I think, a topic on what way do you teach your child to read. So anyways, please like, share, leave me comments, and let me know what you think. And don't forget, thumbs up. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.